Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Literature. I wanted to do a few things to introduce myself first and then to talk a bit about our course. So, this is a 7-week online American Lit class, and that means that there are no required simultaneous or synchronous meetings that you have to attend. So, we won't be doing any Zoom unless you'd like to meet with me one-on-one, but we will have a weekly folder for each of our 7 weeks with assignments and readings for you to do in each of those folders. Before I get into a little bit of the heart of the content, I wanted to introduce myself, say hi, put a face and a name to face and a voice to my name. So you know a little bit about me and where I'm coming from. So my name is Amery. It rhymes with Camry, like the car, if that helps. Last name is Bodelson. You can call me Amery, Instructor Bodelson, Ms. Bodelson, Miss B, all of those work. And I'm glad to have you here. I love teaching literature, and I have been at Western for over 15 years now. I traditionally teach English Composition 1, speech, introduction to literature, this course. Sometimes I teach applied communication, and sometimes I teach technical reporting. So I've taught quite a few different classes over my last 15 years here. And we are now offering literature courses as of the last 5 years, which is great. I have a background in English writing. That's my undergraduate degree. And I have a graduate degree in English literature. So it is definitely something I love to do and still love to do. And I have been in the La Crosse area since 2006. It's the longest I've ever lived anywhere, which is kind of exciting. I am originally from Missouri, went to high school in South Dakota, went to my undergrad in Minnesota, North Dakota, and then my graduate work was in Wisconsin. I'm married, and my husband and I have been together. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary. We have 3 cats. Yes, one, two, three. And we enjoy things like travel. And we've been members of the Y for a couple years now and really enjoy some of the classes offered there, including Zumba and yoga and spinning classes. Like to hike and walk, like to cook and host dinner parties, and just enjoy our beautiful scenery that is the La Crosse County area and Bluff Country. So as a little bit about who I am. In this course, we will be diving into purely American authors, American works of literature, and we are focused on a specific time frame. So 1865, the end of the Civil War in America, up into present day, so 2025. And we are segmenting these selections that we read into time periods. So we begin with 1865 to 1914. So that is the end of the Civil War to the beginning of World War I. Then we move on to World War I to World War II, so 1914 to 1945. And then we end with post-World War II to modern day. And we will be exploring the literary movements that accompany each of those time periods, the changes that occurred in our culture, in our society, as a result of the wars, but also as a result of just innovations that were made, the way that we communicated, the way that we worked, the way that we commuted. So we will take a look at how things that are happening in our world, particularly in the United States, affected writing styles and what writers were writing about. And we will be focusing on mostly short stories and poems, maybe a bit of drama. And I try to give you a selection of various voices in these pieces. So traditional literary canon, as we call it, the works that we read in literature courses, for a long time was very focused on male writers and white male writers because they were the ones writing and publishing. They were the ones who could write and publish. And we will read some of them, but we've also expanded the definition of the canon to include voices that are not white and voices that are not male. So as you begin to read, I want you to be thinking about themes, so things that you see in these pieces that make you think about what it means to be human, especially a human in American society. I want you to be looking for things like symbols and use of different writing techniques. Some writers have a very distinct style of writing. Some are very stripped down, some are very ornate. So looking at those to pay attention to the differences and the effects that that has on you. You might love some of the pieces we read. You might hate some of the pieces we read. I know that I distinctly remember reading some Herman Melville in college and hating it and being able to write of my disdain in those pieces. As for assignments, again, 7 weeks. So it's a pretty compressed time period. And so there'll be plentiful readings in between each week, plus some writing assignments. So that can include posting to the discussion boards and communicating with each other about what you're reading, posting private journals that only I read, doing some analysis in the way of answering discussion questions individually. And then you will have a couple major projects. One of them will be at least one literary analysis essay that you write. So that is diving into a deeper analysis of a piece or pieces that we've read together as a class. We will have one multimodal option. So that is by multimodal, we mean expanding beyond just the written academic essay to things like you could create a video, or you might do a PowerPoint presentation. So something that is a little bit different than just your traditional essay. And then we end the class with a bit on critical theory. And critical theory, there's lots of different types of critical theories. These are just lenses in which to interpret literature differently. So some examples include psychoanalysis, Marxism, feminism, post-colonialism. They are just ways to kind of narrow our focus and pay attention to how a story is written using that particular lens. So if we're looking from a Marxist point of view, we're looking at the ways in which class and status and the difference between those who have and those who have not are portrayed in pieces. So we'll touch on that at the very end of our course together. So that's just a quick overview of what to expect in this class. I hope that you find some authors or pieces that you do really enjoy, or at least if nothing else, they prompt some deeper thought, some looking at things a little differently maybe than you have traditionally, or at least some connections to what you have been or might be going through. So again, nice to meet you all. Thank you for being in this class, and I look forward to reading all of your work. Take care.